Hey, welcome back to Matt's Garage DIY. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things, a good cup of coffee. For me, an ideal Saturday morning is waking up early, getting that coffee going, grabbing that first cup, sitting in my chair, no TV, no phone, just me and my coffee and my thoughts. Doesn't get much better than that. And it's pretty easy with the comforts of home to replicate good cups of coffee morning after morning. But how do you do that if you're hiking, camping, hunting? Still love my coffee, but I've had many bad cups of coffee when I've been outside, cold and tired. So how do you make that perfect cup of coffee when you're outdoors? I don't know if I found the answer, but we're going to compare two of the most common methods, Cowboy coffee and camp coffee. There's a lot of different recipes and varieties out there for both of those. I'm going to give credit to Kent Rollins for the Cowboy coffee recipe. And then I just went on a bunch of camping and outdoor sites and found sort of what I found to be the most common camp coffee recipe. So we're going to make both of those and then compare them side by side. I'm going to do this in my garage, bringing my Coleman stove. I'm going to try to keep this as scientific as possible in a garage. I'm not always counting on having my camp stove when I'm outdoors, especially if I'm out hunting or hiking. But to keep things as even as possible, we're going to do it on a stove. I'm going to have identical mugs, going to use the same coffee. I'll post the recipes that we're going to be using or the instructions that we're going to be following, and we'll cook it up and see how it tastes. All right, everything's all set up. 2 identical mugs. I'm going to heat up the 2 pots on the stove. I've got the kind of like the traditional coffee pot on the left. That'll be for the Cowboy coffee. The pan on the right for the camp coffee. Both are aluminum pans. Going to be heating both on the Coleman stove, so about as equal as I can make it. Okay, we'll go through the individual recipes shortly. But first off, for the setup, so for the Cowboy coffee on the left, I've got 16 ounces of water, 2 tablespoons of coffee. For the camp coffee on the right, I've got 12 ounces of water and 3 tablespoons of coffee. So a stronger mix for the camp coffee. Cooking or the heating instructions will be a little different. Cowboy coffee instructions. Warm the water. Then add your coffee. Bring to a full rolling boil. Let it boil for 4 minutes. Turn the heat off. Let it sit for 2 minutes. After that, pour a little cold water down the spout and around the edges. You can also wipe it with a paper towel. Camp coffee. Boil the water. Take it off the heat. Add your coffee. Stir and let settle. So there's the 2 processes. We'll see which one works better. Stove's dialed in, both pots are heating. So the camp coffee on the right is the water is already boiling. I'm actually going to switch the elements that these are on. I want to have the 2 cups done basically at the same time, and as the camp coffee only takes 4 minutes and the Cowboy coffee takes 6, I'm going to switch these around and go from there. So with the Cowboy coffee, the water's not boiling yet, but it is warm, so it's time for me to add the coffee to that. All right, my Cowboy coffee is now boiling. I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes. That boils for 4 minutes and then rests for 2 minutes. Camp coffee water is now boiling. Going to dump in the grounds. Give that a stir and turn the heat off. Cowboy coffee's now been at a rolling boil for 4 minutes. Turn that off and let it rest for 2. Both coffees have rested. Let's take a closer look. For the camp coffee, no real grounds around the outside of that pot, but you definitely see there's that foam, quite a bit of oil. It's set for 4 minutes, so we'll give it a pour and see how it turns out. Over here with the camp coffee, no oil on top, but quite a bit of ground stuck to the side. So we're just going to dump the cold water down the spout, give that a quick wipe on the inside with a paper towel. We'll pour ourselves a couple cups and see which is better. Here goes the camp coffee. Whew. There's a lot of grounds in that. Time for the Cowboy coffee. Pouring nice and clear, no grounds that I can see. All right, time for the moment of truth. Let's give these a try. Camp coffee first. Strong, good flavor. Definitely some grounds in that though. Yeah, like the flavor of the camp coffee. Cowboy coffee. Definitely not as strong. Maybe a little smoother flavor. I think it's cut down on some of the acid, or you broke down some of the acid probably by boiling that. But no grounds, not as strong. Might need to play around with those recipes a little bit. Maybe use the Cowboy coffee method with more coffee in it. Give me that nice strong flavor. I like a nice bold strong coffee. Anyways, there you have it. I'm not sure I really answered the question of which is better. Post your thoughts, comments, any maybe coffee recipes that you have when you're out camping, hiking, hunting. I'll give it a try. As always, appreciate the support. Thanks for watching the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.